Hi, I'm Dr. Jeffrey Riopelle. I'm a cosmetic surgeon in San Ramon. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit about tummy tucks. What is a tummy tuck? Well, it's for excess fat in the belly and for loose skin. And what it involves is, under general anesthesia, making a big incision across the belly, removing a lot of fat, and then suturing up that incision to reduce the fat and the skin in the area. So it's a good procedure for people who really have lots of loose skin and are not candidates for other procedures. But I'd like to talk to you a little bit about alternatives for the tummy tuck. We have great new technology nowadays that's come along for smart lipo and liposuction. And this technology has allowed us to perform liposuction procedures at a much lower risk, much lower cost, and much lower recovery compared to the tummy tucks that were done in the old days. This is the Smart Lipo laser. And what the laser technology has allowed us to do is both remove fat by melting it, so we get more fat removal, and contract the skin. So for someone that used to have a tummy tuck, we can now take that patient and contract the skin after the procedure and shrink it in order to get it to go away, as opposed to actually cutting it out. So what are the advantages to this? Well, number one, it's done under local anesthesia in the office. You don't have to go under general. It doesn't have the risks of general anesthesia, the infection risks of being in the hospital. Number two, it's something that can be done awake, and you can go right back to work within a couple days, as opposed to a tummy tuck that has a several-week recovery to it. Number three, instead of a great big scar across the lower abdomen, one will have simply several little tiny incision points, just slightly bigger than the width of this laser fiber, and that's it. And those actually heal sometimes with no scar at all, but if they do scar, it's very minimal. And we often use the belly button, where we can go in through the belly button and not cause any scarring because the belly button is there. So how does this work exactly? Well, and who is it for? Well, we can do smart lipo on many, many patients. It's for people who have excess fat in the belly, or actually other areas, and need skin tightening. We bring the patient in, we give something to relax, then we numb up the skin with numbing shots, and we numb up the fat with some numbing shots. And then we make those little tiny incisions, put the smart laser fiber in, laser the fat. We also use Vaser, by the way. Vaser is ultrasonic. If we need to melt a lot of fat, we'll add the Vaser to it. So we call that Smart Lipo Ultra, where we're using a laser and Vaser technology to melt fat. We suction out the fat with a little cannula that comes out very easily after it's been melted. And then we simply go ahead and tighten the skin, again by inserting the laser and lasering right under the skin. And it causes the skin to contract, and then over the next 6 months the skin will contract down and usually tighten fairly dramatically. So it's a great new technology that's allowed us to do many, many more patients with liposuction procedure that used to have to be done with tummy tucks. The recovery is simple, the recovery is easy, back to work quickly, and it's actually very long lasting. Another great thing about it is that once you've removed those fat cells and once you've contracted the skin, it stays that way. You have to gain a lot of weight to gain weight back in the area that you've done the liposuction on, because there are many less fat cells and you don't really regrow new fat cells. You can only enlarge the ones that are there. So even if you gain weight, the few that are there, when they enlarge, they're not going to nearly enlarge to what you had before. So again, we've got improvement in recovery time. We have minimal to no scarring compared to a very long scar with the tummy tuck. And although the tummy tuck is also a great procedure, we can get people back to work right away with minimal risk. So we'd love to talk to you more about these procedures. Please feel free to click on the information below, and we'd love to see you in our office. Thank you very much for listening to us today.